Okay, guys. Big things happening in any percent. So I'll try to keep this brief. A long time ago, X Factors for Ridley looked different. And the main thing that I'm going to say about that is that they didn't used to have this issue where he would bail on the third X Factor a lot of the time. This has been a frustration for me for a couple of years, but for one reason or another, we've just, continued with the newer setup. But today I decided to look at the older setup again, and I've realized that with the new 5X Factor setups, it's actually better, like in a big way. So this video is going to be a slightly edited just overview of how that all happened today. And then I think I'll do a breakdown of exactly what's going on from my perspective in the fight after all of that as well. So I'll try not to make it too long-winded, but suffice to say, I feel more hopeful about the future of Ridley in any percent now than I think I ever have. So yeah, big things coming. I don't want to oversell it. There's still a lot of research to be done, but I think things are good. I think good things are happening. Anyway, enjoy. Oh, shoot. See, he bailed! Ah, I hate you! Yeah, I'm pretty sure the 3x bail thing is a human thing. I just haven't figured it out because I know that it used to never happen to me, like a long time ago. And so I'm just trying to figure it out. A long time ago, bailing pretty much never happened to me, correct? But now it seems to happen a lot. And I noticed this during the grind a year ago too, so I felt like I figured it out back then, but so if I just stay here, he always pogos. I'm gonna look at something. We used to do this differently. And I bet that has an impact. It has to. It has to have an impact. Okay, so that's an issue with X Factor timing. Yes. Okay. This feels right. This does. It feels right. Okay. It's going to be an adjustment, but... Okay, I'm curious about something. Yes! Yes! Oh my gosh. Okay. Okay, pretty bare bones setup here, but I'm just gonna go through the way that this works real quick. I want this to be as accessible to everyone as possible. Assuming that it pans out, I have a lot of faith that it will. But you never know with this game, right? So anyway, okay. This should work for either 1510 or 2010 setups. I just screwed that up, so I'm just gonna put it back. Okay, there we go. Theoretically, it might be a little bit easier with 2010, but it also might not matter at all because of the nature of this. So I'm just gonna get right into it. So the old way to do the first X Factor part, we would actually stand over here by Ridley and then run to the right and start missiling. And then ARealCutie came up with this this other X Factor setup, and this is fine. This part is actually still really good. Most recently, I've noticed that if you do kind of a higher spin jump and then land more or less where you want to start your missiles from, the X Factor particles should connect a couple frames earlier, which allows you to get more missiles off earlier, which is important, but it's less important for this fight specifically. But in Zoast's old world record runs, he would do 6 missiles and then an X Factor. And over the years, we've gotten more and more and more aggressive, where a long time ago, I would do 9 missiles, and then I started doing 10 missiles, and then people started doing 11 missiles and 12 missiles. And the reason we don't use a super there at the beginning is because it can mess up with Ridley's energy thresholds, but we don't need to really get into that. The point is, for this setup, it's very important that you start charging your X Factor early. And the reason for that is because... So we want to start charging the X Factor. This right here is the key. In the old... in Zoast's old runs, I'm just going to credit this setup to Zoast because he's the true GOAT. We were cutting our jump short, okay? That hasn't been happening for a year, 2 years. I don't even know. Because we were trying to get more missiles off earlier, which meant that we were starting to charge the X Factor later, and therefore to make it connect with Ridley, instead of cutting our jump short, we were just holding jump the entire time. But if you look right here, so up in the top left, you can see the input display. So we're releasing jump now. Okay. This is key. I don't know exactly why, but it makes it so that Ridley, when he does this move to mid, he's moving upward faster. Okay. What that does is it makes him get to the top of the screen and then start coming down earlier and faster, which then has him do the choose AI right here instead of a little bit later, and he gets locked into this lunge instead of for whatever reason, deciding between a lunge and a pogo. I don't know what the deal is with it. The only time that I ever see Ridley pogo at this part of this fight with this setup, by memory, and it did happen a couple times today, is when he's too far over to the left and he hits the wall. Okay, so as long as he's not too far to the left and he's not going to hit the wall, he should never, or basically never, pogo. I might end up eating my words here. That's how I remember it being a long time ago. And when I was practicing it today, that is how it was today as well. And I did that with multiple save states. I did it when I first found it. I did it again like half an hour later. I did it again after runs later. And I'm probably going to do it again later tonight. But this is super key. So again, start charging the X factor a little bit earlier, jump a little bit earlier, cut your jump short. He'll fly up. I should zoom in here so that it's a smoother. There we go. He'll fly up to the top. He does his choose AI into a lunge. This should basically never break into a pogo. And then from here, the rest of the 5X setup is basically the same. But the thing is, he was moving faster and completing his cycle, I guess, earlier, right? So not only that, but okay, so we connect those. For anybody who doesn't know, for the 5X setup, there's a couple different things he can do here. If he gives you the swoop dive, that's what you want. And to make these particles connect consistently, for me, with the cheeky supers after each X factor, so there's a super here, and then there's a super here. So to get the X factor particles to connect consistently on this 5th X with those cheeky supers, I'm doing a speedy jump. Okay. Speedy jump, X factors connect, one last cheeky super, pause. Make sure you're holding your charge during the pause, okay? Okay, out of this pause, obviously, Ridley is always kind of inconsistent. I mean, it's just how he is. But the pattern that we're looking for, what we want him to do, is we want him to come down a little bit on the right, and then immediately go back up to go into a swoop. The most consistent way that I've seen to try and manip him into doing this is right here. So, step to the left, hold a charge shot, shoot up, do a little teeny jump, just so that the charge shot will connect. Do another similar movement. Again, do the third right here. Move to the left. He'll come down. You're charging your 4th. Release your 4th. Okay. And then here you do 5. 6 with another little hop. Do 7 right here. This is the part where this is easily the hardest part of the fight, is optimally getting these missiles off in a way that is comfortable, but also that you manip him with the supers. And that's somewhat inconsistent too, but it's exactly the same as the hundo setup, which I love. I love it. Okay, so we run to the right. This part of the fight is definitely credited to Celabeat. So yeah, shoutouts to Celabeat. This is where we want to use our missiles because it causes the least amount of lag and gives you the Ridley pattern that you're looking for. Okay, so we're shooting off the missiles right here. He flies up to the top. You start firing your supers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now what you want is you want him to do that thing where he goes up to the top and then goes into this swoop dive swoop thing. Okay. Sometimes he'll decide to pogo instead, or sometimes he'll do a swoop where he like comes over to the middle over here. I mean, it's not the end of the world, but it's not going to be as fast. So you want the swoop dive. Okay. This new setup, for whatever reason, is the first time I've ever been able to jump over and actually clear Ridley right here. Every other time, Samus was in the way and would get bonked, and that sucked in a big way. So, last super, hold a charge. What is that? 8? I don't remember. I think it's, let's see. It was Okay, so this is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Here's 8, 9. Okay, this is important right here. So this is what I call the hundo manip for Ridley. If you do this thing where you do a spin and then break spin really low, a lot of the time that will prevent him from doing a high swoop and or just give you the type of pattern that you want. It, for whatever reason with this one, it seemed less consistent. My cat wants to say hi. Hi. But yeah, so I do this hundo manip here. What is that, 10? I lost count again. 9, 10, 11. Okay. 12, 13. Okay, this part's important too. You want to follow Ridley up so that you can release the charge shot as early as possible. 14. And then land where you want him to pick you up. 15. Now that is obviously very tight. It can be made less tight with doing the other charge shots tighter and or having Ridley, you know, float around a little longer here or there, whatever. Like there's going to be a lot of nuance to how this goes, but that's the general flow of the fight. Okay. So he grabs you. And then this next part of the fight isn't actually perfect, but I remembered that when I was watching Zoast practice Ridley a while ago, he was doing a jump, morph, unmorph around the time that Ridley disappeared, which allowed him to collect more drops from the middle of the screen on your way up to the door. I would highly recommend that with this, but you know, so I just did kind of I just winged it and just did a jump because I couldn't remember exactly. And then we head out of the door. So, there's your crash course. Hope you enjoyed it. Like I said at the beginning of this video, I feel really confident and hopeful in the future of any % Ridley fights. Obviously, there's always going to be some shenanigans going on. It's Ridley. Sometimes, you know, the old school annoyance was that he would, after the second X Factor, go into Pogo. And that's still been a thing. Personally, I feel like that's a lot easier to deal with than him bailing on the third. The biggest thing about this is, one, he's going to bail on the third X Factor a lot less commonly. And two, when he doesn't, the whole fight is faster and easier. So anyway, I'm going to shut up now. But yeah, thanks for watching. If you are currently grinding any % in any capacity and you're doing X Factors and you're even considering doing 5 X Factors or even 4 X Factors, honestly, at this point, do this. Seriously. Okay.